Their bodies turned into a blur as they left the tavern behind them and leaped across the thatched and tiled rooftops of the city. With their powerful cardio conditioning and spiritual movement techniques, it wasn't long before they'd passed the outer gates of the city and slipped past a picket of sleepy guards. Nobody saw them leave, and nobody would notice they were missing until dawn. As they came to a halt in a small clearing in the woods, Duke Godricson couldn't help but marvel at the massive red bark on the trees around him. For a moment, the two warriors simply stood together and appreciated the wild noises of the forest. Finally, Duke Godricson sighed and turned to Nathan.
It still blows my mind that, technically, I own all this. Yet, truth be told, I've only been here once before, many, many years ago.
You should get out more. What's the point of ruling hundreds of acres of land if you spend your days locked up in a room?
It would undoubtedly help my spiritual energy, that's for sure. But when you're older, you'll come to realize that other matters take precedence over what you want to do with your time.
Why? Aren't you the Duke? Shouldn't you be able to do whatever you want?
If only it was that simple. Unfortunately, I've been plagued with a certain nasty rumor that just won't seem to die. About me working with the House Raven on their plot to betray the kingdom. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you now?
I imagine there must be many rumors plaguing your house these days. To be fair, I've heard your grandson was working with them. Who really knows how far the conspiracy went? Besides you, of course.
Enough with the sugar-coated nonsense, lad.
They do seem rather pissed at you.
Yes, they do. And do you know what lies at the root of those searches each and every time? House Hayfield. Whether it was you or your father, one of you paid for men to spread a bunch of lies about my fealty to the realm. Don't bother denying it.
In truth, Duke Godricson had no proof of Nathan's actions, but he was making an educated bet based on what his advisors had told him. His words might have been based on a hunch, but as Nathan smiled, Duke Godricson knew that it was true. I'm glad to hear the nobles of the court still verify rumors before they act upon them. If you know it's fake, why worry about it? After all, aren't you the mighty House Godricson? Rumors come and go. You're supposed to be above all that anyways. Duke Godricson's face began to grow red as he realized Nathan was toying with him.
These rumors may not affect my family directly, or the noble houses, but they still besmirch my name and are an attack on my family's dignity. Do you dare say that these rumors were not spread by your own order?
Nathan merely laughed at the man's rising anger. Relax, Godfrey. Don't take it all so seriously. Even a toddler in his mother's arms doesn't believe you'd abandon your homeland to fight for the Vasslanders. It's just a bunch of silly nonsense. How could I spread it if I don't believe it myself? Finally, Duke Godricson sighed and took a deep breath in as he shook his head.
You wish to taunt me, boy? I will not let you do such a thing so easily.
Just when it seemed as though Duke Godricson had regained his regal composure, Nathan couldn't help but tease. Could it be that you're so tense because the rumor bears some truth to it? Is that it, Godfrey? Are you feeling guilty? Duke Godricson snarled as his face flushed red once more.
What should I feel guilty about? How dare you, boy? And you shall address me by my title. Now I won't ask again. Did you, or did you not, create these rumors?
Nathan smirked as he looked away, as if inspecting a nearby patch of glowing moss. So what if I happened to mention to someone that I had a hunch about your involvement a couple of times?
I knew it.
So what? That's nothing compared to your grandson sending your own men out to intimidate me into quitting the aristocratic challenge and threatening my sister's life?
Preposterous. My kin had nothing to do with any of that.
Are you sure, sir? You said it yourself. You've rarely left your keep in years.
Because I know my family would never dare to do such a thing.
Just like your daughter would never encourage her nephew to murder my sister in order to force a man who doesn't love her to marry her? Duke Godricson sighed at the change in topic. He idly picked at a broken layer of bark as he spoke with a troubled tone.
I knew you would bring this all back to that. Look, I understand your sister Amelia is a fine young woman with many gifted talents in the healing arts. Perhaps your father might consider marrying her to one of my many fine young warriors. I have many fantastic bachelors at my command, whose futures are bright, and who would love to take her hand in marriage.
Nathan turned away from the moss and approached the Duke. I appreciate your well-intentioned offer, sir, but unfortunately, there are several problems with your proposition. Firstly, my sister does only as she pleases. My father learned long ago that she will only marry the man she chooses. Secondly, she's already chosen that man. Her heart belongs to Sir Ian Lightstone, and to him alone. I'm afraid your lordship's offer is a step too late. Duke Godricson shook his head as his eyes narrowed.
So the rumors are true then. Sir Ian's been running around on Bella this whole time.
Nathan nodded and spoke calmly. It is true, but he never wished to be with Bella, not even for a moment. His heart has never lacked purity in this. Duke Godricson's face grew crimson, redder than ever before, as his hands balled into fists.
Why are you so stubborn about this? Sir Ian and my daughter are already engaged. There is nothing more to be said about it now.
Good sir, you must know as well as I do that Sir Ian does not wish to be with her. Lady Bella merely lusts for his body. She has no interest in his soul. Why force the boy to marry her when you know it will end badly? Why not accept that impulsive mistakes were made on both sides and be mature about this?
Mature? How dare you question my maturity?
Please, my lord, just grant me this one favor. Let my sister marry Sir Ian instead, and I swear to you, I'll be forever grateful. Finally, Duke Godricson completely lost it. Without realizing it, he tore off a huge chunk of bark from a nearby tree and crushed it into dust in his hands.
You would have me ruin my daughter's happiness over nothing?
What do you mean, nothing, sir? Forcing this sham of an engagement to occur will have the opposite effect you wish for it to have. How can Lady Bella live a happy life if she's married to a man that yearns for the love of another? No, sir. If you go through with this, you'd be condemning your own daughter to live in the anger and resentment of her partner for the rest of her days.
Who are you to tell me what I ought to do? Roderick was right. You really are nothing more than an arrogant child. Perhaps it's time I show you what I do to those who oppose my rule.
In the blink of an eye, Duke Godricson had drawn his sword and channeled red spiritual energy through the blade. In a single swipe, he felled the massive redwood tree beside him.
So, what do you say, Nathan Hayfield? Are you ready to apologize, or must I treat you as an enemy?
After a moment of silence, Nathan Hayfield began to laugh. Duke Godricson frowned. This was not what he expected. No matter what you try to do to chop me down, I'll only grow back stronger and more determined to reach my fullest height. I have a suggestion, although I'm not certain my lordship's old ears can hear me from this distance. Duke Godricson spoke behind gritted teeth.
Speak.
What if my house has nothing to do with the end of the engagement? What if your house decides to call off the marriage? You can blame it on Sir Ian's actions. Frame it as you found him less worthy enough to marry a Godricson. After all, his lack of interest in Lady Bella can be seen as less than honorable. That way, you can preserve your honor
and we might still fix the rift between our houses after all."
Duke Godricson shook his head. When he chuckled, he did so coldly.
As if that could possibly work. Despite your reputation, you're still just a boy with a naive mind.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.